The next task then is to create a function that will check if values are empty. To create the function then we will call it check.Form.Data, and it will be similar to what we did before, where we have this fat arrow function, lambda function. So the function takes in no parameters, but we just have an open and close round bracket. Within the function then what we will do is we will check if an input is empty, and if it is, we will want to set the focus to the input control. So whatever control is empty, we want to set the focus to it, so the cursor will go inside it. We will set the inner HTML of an element called error box in our HTML code, and this will present a message at this particular element. We will also set the style of that element to be red. In other words, it's an error. But if it isn't empty, then we will set the inner HTML of the element called error box with a message about valid data. And we will set the style of the element to be green. In other words, it is okay. So we can see this in the code. So when we do the checking, we go if whatever the name of the control is, vehicle registration number is equal to, remember that's to compare, blank. Then what do we want to do? We want to find the element by ID, get element by ID, vehicle registration number, and we want to set the focus. We then want to set the inner HTML to say enter your vehicle registration number, and we then want to set the background color to be red. So if the element is blank, we do three things: set the focus, put a message in as its inner HTML, and set the style to be red. And if it is not blank, then we set the inner HTML to say valid input, and we set the background color to be green. So we will add this code to our JavaScript. So this is a new method, so it's outside of the existing method that we had for read form data. Now that we have that function, we will now need to use it or to call it. So to call it, we will have to call it from a particular place. So in the previous function, we will call the check form data. We go back into our code, and you can see that after additional information equals document.getElement by ID subject.value, we will call this other method. So once it has done all of the bits that we did earlier, it will then call this, and we will then either get a message that sets the focus and says enter your vehicle registration number and sets the color to red, or we may get a green. Now we have called the method. It will execute the code whenever it goes to that particular part.